So first things first, how to be successful as a remote worker. I think there's several variables that come into play, and this is something I've been experimenting with firsthand for the past couple of weeks, kind of figuring out what is a comfortable work environment. Um, if you want to be thoughtful, you can design a fancy background with lots of books to make you look smart, or to have Justin Timberlake right over your shoulder to chime in when you need him. All right. Um, Also realizing that working from bed, probably not the most productive, especially if you have to share a video screen at some point. I think it's also important to create boundaries between work and home, something that we've been experimenting with. It's like at the end of the workday to literally just go outside for 5 seconds and then come back in as if you've come home, have your laptop shut, know that, hey, after 6 o'clock or after a certain time, you don't need to be on, you don't need to be on your emails. I'm a big fan of having good morning routines. And my morning routine working from home is not to get up and check work emails, but to like put on some water for tea and start making breakfast and maybe read a book, or I'm working on learning the bass guitar while I'm home too. So like do a little jam session in the morning before you start work. I think having those boundaries can be very effective. It's also important that you kind of over communicate, which is something I'll highlight throughout the presentation tonight, and prepare for your meetings. It's nice that you can have a computer screen, or actually got two screens, to be able to have lots of notes in front of you. You don't have to have everything memorized. And you do want to make sure you're accountable and communicating well with everybody you work with, and err on the side of letting them know more often than assuming they know you're working. Like I've erred on the side of CCing my boss on emails that I wouldn't normally do if we were both in the same building together. But if I'm sending an email, and he's not going to interact with me or the other person in person for at least a couple of weeks, it's helpful for them to just have more information about what's going on, and that kind of ties into how you can be visible at work. My organization, Halcyon's, also adapted Microsoft Teams, which is basically GChat if you've got a Microsoft Office account. So now all of our kind of colleagues are online throughout the day. We can chat easily. It also has kind of like the red icon if you're in a meeting, green if you're free, yellow if you've been away for a little while. And so another thing that's important when you're working remotely is to take care of your health and to make sure you're getting up and stretching throughout the day. I actually did a guided meditation at like 5 o'clock before this, just to kind of relax the mind, get into a good state of mind, and kind of prepare for meetings. Whether you can stretch, you want to do push-up challenges. I think one of my colleagues yesterday had a 20-minute plank challenge. Not 20 straight minutes of planking, but between 9 to 5, can you do 20 minutes of planking? That's one way to kind of stay fit while also working remotely. And then obviously take time to talk to your team. And one of the biggest challenges can be socializing and kind of the informal things you chat about in the hallway. I think it's really worthwhile at the beginning of meetings, kind of like we did in this session, just to check in on how people are doing, how's their family, how are they feeling. My organization, Halcyon, we have a daily check-in every day at 10 o'clock now for like 15 to 30 minutes, where everybody gets to at least chime in. We started the week with, gratitude, what's one thing you're grateful for. Today we shifted to rose, thorn, bud. So for those of you who aren't familiar, it's a simple kind of lap around. Rose, what's one thing you're feeling good or happy about? Thorn, what's something that's bothering you, maybe you're having a hard time with? It could be professional, it could be obviously dealing with COVID-19 related things. And then the bud is something you're looking forward to. And so again, it's a way to kind of get everybody in the organization to be able to talk, check in, see one another. And whenever possible in any of these remote work situations, having your video camera on helps a lot to make that connection and for folks to see you.